morning, parents and students. Hope you're doing well. This is our fluency reading. I'm going to show you an additional technique for increasing words per minute. If your child can't read from the beginning of the passage to the end of the passage at 120 to 140 words per minute, I'm going to show you a technique that's going to help them increase their words per minute. Also, this technique trains the mind to learn how to read correctly. In other words, reading actually is a technique that the mind has to learn, and this will help the brain not only to read a little bit quicker, but to also comprehend what is being read. I will show you that technique, and there will be an additional card in the work packet for week 7 to practice this. Students can practice this on their own, but it's best to have a parent along with it at the beginning. Don't forget the first read and the practicing and the writing of the words that they have difficulty with. That all is the same thing. This isn't something different. This is in addition to that step. So all these techniques that you're being shown on reading fluency is to help students become readers. I'm hoping that most of this is becoming routine through practice, that each time you see a new passage, you're doing a first read, underlining the words that students are having difficulty with, writing them in the margin, having some vocabulary words down at the bottom here, maybe that you need to define, that you're reviewing the words that are being written in the margin, and then students practice each day reading from the beginning of the passage to the end of the passage. If they're having difficulties, you could break the passages up into paragraphs. This is a particularly long passage. If they're having difficulty reading one paragraph, then choose a paragraph that's a little bit more to their ability, and then add paragraphs as you go along. I'm going to speed this video up to go to the first read because we've already done that, and I'm going to show you what to do when students need to read a little bit quicker. In other words, this is for students who maybe are reading under 100 words per minute or around 100 words per minute, and we're trying to get them to read 120 to 140 words per minute. I'm going to show you a technique for that. I've included a card inside your work packet for week 7. I'm going to show you how to use this card. For now, I'm going to read through it. As I'm reading, I'm going to underline words and write them over here in the margin, but I'm going to speed the video up a little bit. You can see that there's a number of words here that may need to be defined, like crimson, panoramic for sure, accentuated, and these may be words that some students have difficulty saying as well. So let's look over the words that we have written down in the margin. Crimson. That's a color. What kind of color would crimson be? Exclaimed, considerable, panoramic, magnificent, accentuated. This TU has a ch sound, like a CH sound. Ch. Accentuated. Juniper, brilliant. Now I'm going to show you a method. We're going to take this easy paragraph 4 here. I'm going to show you a method that will help students if they are reading slowly. You take the card and hold it above the sentence. Don't hold it below. Keep it above, because this is the area in which they've already read. This is the area that's new for them to read. So you cover up the area they read, and everything that their eyes can see is the area that they need to read. And as they read the sentence, you slide the card down. And each sentence that they complete, you slide the card down. So let's see how that might work. It's much too dangerous to hike in the dark, Mom said. If we stay here, it will be easy to find the trail in the morning. Besides, it is a smart thing to do. Imagine what would happen if one of us fell in the dark. Now, as students can become more successful at reading, you could cover the sentence up even a little bit earlier, and you'll notice something amazing. They will know the sentence because the sentence, when they see it in their eyes, is already in their head, in their brains, and they don't need to read each and every word. I'll show you what that looks like. It's much too dangerous to hike in the dark, Mom said. If we stay here, you see how I covered that up? And then I continued reading. If we stay here, it will be easy to find the trail in the morning. Besides, it is the smart thing to do. Imagine what would happen if one of us fell in the dark. So each word doesn't have to be read as your eyes see it. Your mind already knows what word you're supposed to be reading, even though your voice hasn't caught up yet. So covering up sentences as students read, you want to cover up the sentence right when they get towards the end of it, so they start thinking about reading. It trains their mind into how to read effectively. Let's try the sentence or paragraph number 5. I'll do the first one and then I'll do a second one. But the temperature drops in the desert at night, and it will get too cold, Maggie protested. We won't even be able to make a fire because we won't have enough wood. So I read through the sentence and didn't cover up until I was finished. Now I'm going to cover up the sentence a little bit early. But the temperature drops in the desert at night, and it will be too cold, Maggie protested. We won't even be able to make a fire because we won't have enough wood. So use this card if someone is reading too slowly, under 100 words for sure, under 120. It's good practice to be able to read with your mind's eye, not just what your eyes see, and reading each sentence one sentence at a time. That's what slows down reading. This could also be used for readers who are reading silently. So use this card as a tool to improve the reading.